Good everyone on this video, and today we have a sub request by Bertibert, who actually has given me a fun request for once. Well, in theory, for the J5N1 twin-engined Japanese heavy fighter, which I remember when it used to be a meme that people would go, "Oh, this update we get a Japanese twin-engine heavy fighter." Shame we don't really get them anymore, but well, to be fair, they're running out of designs for it. So the J5N1 is a twin-engined Japanese heavy fighter, as I mentioned, and this is actually a pretty solid aircraft. And even today, like several years on from when I Spade reviewed it is still doing pretty well in terms of the meta. Obviously, it's not as good as the Key 83, which is a bit higher BR than this, but for 5.7, it's really not that bad. However, there's a bit of a catch, which we're going to talk about. And if you've seen some of my more recent Japanese aircraft videos, yeah, this is where we're going to have to talk about the guns of this aircraft. So, on paper, this thing has incredibly good guns. We have two 30mm Type 5 cannons with 60 rounds per gun, and we also have two 20mm, once I can actually find the little buggers, two 20mm Type 99 Model 2s. These are the same ones on the A7M2 and A7M1, and also on the later A6M5 variants. They're all pretty solid weapons, however, unfortunately, Real Shadow has had a word about it, and it does make the guns on this thing much weaker, unfortunately. Now, the 30mm are still doing pretty okay, like with Tracer Belt and all that, but it's the 20s that are really going to be limiting, and obviously we only have 60 rounds in the 30mm, so we're going to have to be very considerate with that. But the engines are still going pretty strong. They're pretty much the same engine on the Ki-84 or the Ki-84s, and yeah, they're very solid. 2,000 horsepower, give or take. This thing can outclimb a lot of stuff. And, well, being a heavy fighter, we get an intercept spawned. Now, against jets, because you will occasionally run into a jet at 6.7, this thing's pretty okay. Like, it does... I'm very curious to see if this thing has the wobble. And if you don't know what I'm on about, go and check out my old review of this thing and you'll know what I mean by the wobble. But essentially, underturning, this thing used to wobble uncontrollably. Not too badly, but like it was a bit awkward. But it is still quite a fun aircraft regardless, and I haven't actually flown this thing for 2 or 3 years now, so I'm pretty interested to see if the wobble's been fixed. But overall, this plane's not too bad. Now, there is later variants that it could add with apparently more 30mm and apparently some bomb capability, so that would be nice to see. But we're probably going to be just running Tracer Belt because it has the most explosive. And hopefully we can get some kills. I'll probably switch the 20s to ground just to be sure. It depends on what matchmaking we get, to be honest. Anywho, let's get into it and let's see if this aircraft still holds up to when I last flew it, which was, as I said, about 2 or 3 years ago, give or take. But I still think it's a good plane. It's just the fact that Gaijin's trying their best to shaft everything these days. It's kind of sad, really. But, well, that's Gaijin for you. Whenever anything is fun, they just have to leave a big fat steaming turd on it. Anywho, I will see you all shortly. And about 20 seconds later, we get Zheng Zhao, or however the hell you pronounce that. I probably butchered that, so if you're a Chinese viewer, which I think I have like 0.5% Chinese viewers, I do apologise for that. Judging by this map, I'm definitely taking ground, because the 20mm can actually pop ground targets pretty well. But yeah, this is actually a great map for when you used to be able to spade this thing, because back in the day, you didn't have to face the different nations that you do. On this map, you'd only face Russia, and Russia didn't really have a lot at that time to counter this thing. They had the I-225, which was before its nerf and everything. That thing was pretty good against this thing. But otherwise, they didn't really have anything that stood out. Like, you could go, oh, I need to worry about that. Like, maybe Yak 9U or something like that. Or something along that line, like the 9P, the 9UT, etc. You would have to be concerned about them, but you wouldn't really go out your way to kill them. You'd go out your way to kill an I-225 before it's nerfed. But, you know, it just brings back memories that we're on this map, and I used to be able to spade this thing within about, what, 20 or so games without premium account, and that was not too bad, to be honest. Anywho, I will leave you all to it, and I will see you all in just a moment once we get into the actual battle, because it does take a bit on this map. See you shortly. Well, welcome back. As you can tell in front of us, we have a bit of a problem. That is a Hornet, which, back when this thing first came out, that was not a thing. And, the Hornet is incredibly dangerous. But, that's the premium one. Okay, I'm not bothered about it. I'll leave my teammates to deal with that one. The Hornet Mark III I'm more afraid of because that thing has 150 octane and that thing is practically untouchable. And trust me, you don't want to deal with that. So we're going to Spitfire potentially trying to pitch up for us, but I don't think he's going to be that dumb. Spitfire over there, F4U there. Okay. Oh, it's hay fever season still, and my nose is running like a... It's running like Usain Bolt, let's put it that way. So if I'm sniffling a lot, I do apologise. Alright, come in, Mr. Spitfire. Ooh, LF Mark 9. I don't see many of those anymore. Kind of a shame, really, because they're very good planes. But of course, given how much horsepower we have and the fact that this thing is relatively light for what it is, I'm just leaving him for dead. Like, this thing climbs so well and just handles so well for what it is. Oh, it doesn't have the wobble! Holy crap! It doesn't wobble! I'm actually quite happy now, because this thing used to wobble like a little bitch. But yeah, they've actually fixed the wobble. Okay, that was a partial wobble, but that was my wrist moving the mouse a little bit there. I'm not going to take a head-on to full commit against a Spitfire, especially when I have the horsepower advantage, mate. I don't even know why he's bothering trying to fight me up here, because I have all the advantages up here. Like, he has the turn rate, but, like, that's not really going to help him when I have both the performance, the guns, because my guns are better than his. And, yeah, just, like... Well, I'm surprised that didn't kill him, but... Well, again, real shadow. I think he just likes me. I'm not sure. Also, I love the fact that guy down there has a Skyrim and a Oblivion reference for his name. If you don't know, Google Daedric Princes of Skyrim / Oblivion and you'll get it. So we've got this guy who's practically glued to our ass, so we can't really help our team at the moment, but we are keeping one of their more powerful planes under check, which is good. But like I said, not having the wobble to worry about when you're trying to get shots on target is actually rather, shall we say, beneficial, because, like, we're not dealing with that. Yeah, this guy just really hates me, I'm fairly sure. But obviously, I'm not full committing to the head-on, I'm just using my speed and just keeping above him. What's he going to do? Spike for me and stall? I'll see him alive if he does that. But like I said, we've got backup inbound, so we don't need to rush this. We're just taking our time. And yeah, my aim could be better, but again, I haven't flown this plane in a long time, so my aim is going to be naturally bad. Still quite useful to do it though, like just to get back into the swing of things for this thing. Let's see what the old speedy boy does now. Yeah, old tricks don't work on Joe. God. Can't take the old tricks out of the old guy. Well, I say old, I'm 23 in 2 months, but you get my point. So it looks like our team's mostly been slaughtered in the meantime. Is that a friendly? Yeah, that's the J5N1. So I'm going to let my engines cool a little bit, because I've noticed the temps are getting a bit unfavoured. Now, the jets are not my concern. I could care less about the glorified washing machines. I'm more concerned about the props, or as I like to nick them, the glorified Beyblades. Am I showing my age now? Kind of? I don't know. But yeah, we've got time and we've got the ticket bleed in our advantage, so I am really not concerned about the Jets. The props, however, like this F4U4, yeah, you need to go, son. Scratch 2. Surprised I didn't hit him. Of course, as I mentioned before, with how much speed we have behind us, and given our insane rate of climb, we don't really have to worry too much. The jet will keep up, but we can deal with this jet. I'm not too concerned about the jet. Okay. We could potentially reverse this guy, so let's crank the throttle back. I don't remember the rip speed on the flaps, unfortunately. But, with a little bit of tinkering... How the fuck is he going that slow? Okay, apparently that jet likes low-speed combat now. He has done some damage, but... Well, he's got a Goblin engine, and they do not like these sorts of maneuvers. So with a little bit of tinkering with the old flaps... That's how you deal with a jet. Easy peasy. Pretty easy take down of that jet there, that's for sure. Just have to check my headphone and I thought I heard something, that's all. But yeah, that was pretty simple. Obviously I could have definitely done that a bit better, but, well, doesn't matter to me none. We're probably going to have to head back to base now due to the damage of our engine, because our right engine took most of the hit, but obviously our left engine's leaking oil, and that's not a good thing. We can fly back to base on one engine, but it's not ideal, because obviously the large amount of horsepower and all that, but, you know, it's something really. Yeah, I must admit, Bertie, you've actually picked me something rather pleasant. Like, it's something where I can go, yeah, I can do whatever I like pretty much in this thing, and not be bothered about things. Okay, Mustang Boy wants to head on, because that's all Mustang players know how to do these days. And my aim was horrible there, I should have killed him there, but we'll gloss over that. Have you noticed how he's braking so hard to turn for me? Sorry, Mustang Boy, but I will just bait you for my team, because I'd rather do that than get shot by you. 288's even joining in on the fun. The 152 should be able to handle that one-on-one, but I'm going to turn around and help him anyway. The 152 is a good contender against a P-51 anyway, so I have full faith in the 152 pilot. And looks like he's about to get his shots on target any second now. But never mind, the game is over. I think the 152 pilot just held his fire a bit too long, but, well, that's just unfortunate for him. But yeah, other than the guns being a little bit finicky, it does show that this plane can keep up in the meta still to this day. I mean, it's obviously not going to be as good as the Coyote 3. I still think the Coyote 3 is the superior aircraft. But, yeah, still a pretty solid aircraft in the meta these days. Just be mindful of the guns and also my crap aim. But anyway, I'll leave you all to it for today. I hope you enjoyed seeing the J5N1 in action, and I'll see you all on the next one.